Welcome back to the WFT Declassified podcast. Everybody listening on audio, shout out to you. Everybody overseas that listens to us, we know there's a lot of you. We appreciate you. Keep checking us out. Tell your friend overseas. Start a little WFT Declassified cult wherever you are if you like, and make sure you tell all your members about our podcast. Everybody on YouTube watching us, what's happening? How are you? Check this out. We do have a sponsor. It is BetUS. Go to betus.com, enter promo code DClass11, DECLASS 11. It'll get you something nice there. You can register, bet a little money, do what you want. Now, down to business. It is officially draft season. I say that because the NFL scouting combine is underway in Indianapolis. That means quarterbacks are throwing, wide receivers are catching, tight ends are doing all kind of weird drills, and some folks are running fast. A lot of interesting stuff coming out early on in the combine. I tell you what, Kenny Pickett looks like one of the most athletic players there. His measurables were off the charts. We didn't see Malik Willis do a ton early on, and of course, Matt Corral's not participating. Nonetheless, tonight we're going to talk to you about the three phases of pursuing a quarterback: free agency, trades, and the draft. And we're going to tell you who the Washington football team's quarterback will be at the start of next season in each of those phases. So you'll be prepared, you'll be armed, and you'll be ready to know who's going to start for us this year. We're going to start with free agency. Eric, you're up first. Make your case for the one quarterback that we're going to sign in free agency. Who is it and why?
Yeah, I think free agency-wise, the one guy we're going to go after and the most likely free agent that we will sign is Mitchell Trubisky. I think that, first of all, of the three free agency trades and draft, I think this is the least likely. I think we're going to go all in on a trade. But if we can't trade, I think Mitchell Trubisky and a draft pick is probably going to be the way to go. Trubisky, I'm going to go with over a guy like Jameis Winston because I don't think Trubisky has peaked. I think there's still a lot of untapped potential there. And I could be way off on this because I haven't seen enough of him outside of Chicago. But I think that the most upside of any free agent in this class is going to be Mitchell Trubisky. He was kind of, everybody knows it was a bad offense, and he had the most success with the bad offense in Chicago. He kind of rebuilt his reputation a little bit, even though we didn't see him a lot last year. His coaches in Buffalo all love him. They're all sad to see him go, but they all accept the fact that he's going to do well somewhere else. And I think based on the relationship that Ron Rivera still has with the brass up in Buffalo, he's got really good intel on these guys. So if Mitchell Trubisky doesn't end up in New York with Brian Daboll, I think it's a very high possibility that he ends up right here in D.C. with the Commanders. Mitchell Trubisky is my free agent quarterback.
Ooh, I absolutely cannot stand the thought of Mitchell Trubisky being our quarterback.
I did say that with a caveat. I think it's going to be Trubisky in a draft pick, but
yeah, I can't. Let me tell you why. And I know, Brian, you got some thoughts.
I know who your guy is. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get there. But
I've already told you why I hate your guy.
But here's the deal with Trubisky. Okay. Number one, you're counting on potential that you have not seen manifested. So if it doesn't work, you're screwed. Number two, there's a saying that when people show you who they are, you have to believe them, right? We have this principle of reclamation project. It does not work. We've tried this for years. I am absolutely done with that. I'm over it. Give me a guy with pedigree who has actually performed. I don't want Trubisky. Brian, what say ye?
Yeah. So Trubisky, I brought it up on one of the previous shows. He chose to be a backup. Like, if you're the guy, and I'm not into these stereotypes. I think they're kind of silly. But as a quarterback, you kind of have to be the alpha. You've got to be the dominant personality. You've got to want all the attention, and you've got to want all the blame when that comes down. Because with this position, you're going to get blame, and you're going to get a lot of praise as well, too. But for the simple fact that it was just too much. He chose to go be a backup. There were places where he could have started. Hey, you know what? Here. He could have started here. And he chose to go there and sit on the bench. Tells me he's just ultimately not the guy. When the pressure gets too big, he will fold. And also, too, he's young enough to where I could see this coaching staff thinking, hey, we can force him into the guy. We could still try to make him the guy. So I don't want that to happen at all. So I would pass on Trubisky, and hopefully he goes to the Giants where his former offensive coordinator is.
Can I say this too? There was an opportunity.
We're going to
for
pile
Washington
on now, are we?
to,
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah, we're piling on tonight.
I can't wait to see what
There
Twitter
was
says.
There was an opportunity for Washington to trade for him last season, and they didn't do it. Even though that rumor was out there in the football universe, they decided they weren't going to do that. So to me, that means something. Man, I don't know. I can't tell you how upset I would be if we had Mitchell Trubisky as our quarterback next year. Just saying.
Okay. But you talk about untapped. I mean, you say that we haven't seen that potential. I mean, the potential that I saw is that he had moderate success in a Matt Nagy offense that nobody else could have any success in. How many other quarterbacks did zero in that offense? And he at least produced, led that team to 2 playoff appearances. I mean, I think there's potential there. And again, I don't think they were getting the most out of him. So, yeah, I'm going to stick by it. And I can't wait to rip your guys apart.
Everyone's going to love this one. So my free agent quarterback that I would sign is one Teddy F. Bridgewater. And I would sign him for the mere fact that I know I'm drafting a quarterback high in that first round to be my future. And I just need someone to take a couple of bullets in those first few games until my rookie quarterback of the future is ready. But Teddy's a limited guy. He's a journeyman quarterback at this point. There's no upside there with him, with the exception of he is a known leader. He is a leader of men. Guys in the locker room gravitate towards him, respect him. He knows how to run NFL offenses. And guess what? He knows how to run this offense here, having experience with Scott Turner and having a pre-established relationship with Scott Turner. And who better to be a mentor, be a bridge than Teddy Bridgewater? He will be able to show the rookie, hey, here's how you do things properly. Here's how you be a professional. Here's how you watch film. And guess what? Teddy's been benched millions of times. He can be a backup and not be a malcontent. So when it's his time to go to the bench, he'll be just fine. The rookie can play, and Teddy will be there to give him notes, help him out whenever need be. And I don't want a Mitchell Trubisky, who we could potentially have some type of issue with our future quarterback who's sitting there. Hey, we should start Mitchell. This plan, it's simple, it's straightforward. We know what Teddy is. We know what he's for, and there won't be any issues or anything like that. Teddy Bridgewater.
If you are not interested in selling tickets next year, Teddy
Eric.
Bridgewater is your guy. That is the most milquetoast pick. I mean, I don't even hate Teddy. Like, I actually have stumped for Teddy before. Like, I don't hate Teddy. I think he's very reminiscent of like a kind of a poor man's Alex Smith, what Alex Smith gave us, where he just efficient, moves the chains. But man, you've got a brand new team. You've got brand new uniforms. You've got like a whole new identity, and you're going to start it with Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, there's just, like you said, there's, with Trubisky, there's at least some potential. Like, you don't know, he could still be good. Like, Bridgewater has peaked and he's on his way downhill. He's very boring. And he is already, everybody wants him to be benched before he starts a game. Like, he's basically like, you might as well bring back Fitzpatrick if you're going to bring in Trubisky, because everybody knows he's a short timer. And just, man, what a boring pick that would be. I don't hate him, but man, oof.
I can't argue with that. There's not a lot of excitement with Teddy.
There is no sizzle there.
If you bring in Teddy, it's because you have other plans. It's just he's there just to kind of take up space and hold down for a few games. That's really his only purpose.
Yeah, I'm a Teddy fan.
He can't even get excited about arguing about him. He can't even crap on him properly.
I know.
He's so uninspired by that pick. He's just.
Dude,
you want to take a nap or something to come back to this later?
As a personality. Eric's right. There's nothing to get excited about with the Teddy Bridgewater signing, and you're almost, like you said, saying, okay, well, Teddy, you're on the clock. You got about 3 games till our rookie figures out enough of the plays for him to come in the game. And at that point, why are you even signing him? Just start Heineke at that point. You know what I mean? Teddy,
Would you
there's
feel
no
better as
purpose
a
with
backup?
Teddy.
I mean, as a backup, would you feel more comfortable with Teddy or Taylor Heineke? I'd feel more comfortable with Teddy as a backup.
I mean, Heineke's fine
I
as a
would feel more
backup.
comfortable. No, but it's that factor we talked about though, where with Heineke, you have some fans still believing he can be a starter. With Teddy,
Right.
nobody's making that mistake if you start your rookie. So
Teddy will
I would
have
feel
a
more
Exactly.
comfortable.
contingent. There will
with
be
Teddy.
a Teddy contingent
Yeah.
led by one Brian right in front of us. Brian
It would
Fong
just
is
be me.
president of he's a Teddy contingent. It'd be stumping for him.
Yeah. But that way you could make Taylor Heineke inactive every game. Teddy could be your backup, and there's no noise. It's all Malik Willis. It's all Kenny Pickett. It's all Corral. Whoever
If Taylor
it is.
Heineke is on your roster, there's going to be buzz around him, whether he's active or not. He's gonna have the hive is still there.
Yeah.
I don't know why
You're not
at this point, but
yeah, you're not making Heineke your third quarterback on the bench. You're going to cut Heineke at that point. He's not going to be your third QB.
I mean, he's
Not
he's
after
you're going to
starting
trade
so
him
many
for a
games.
He's an
second round pick.
undrafted guy. This is not like a guy who's got stature in the league. It's Taylor Heineke. He's undrafted. I mean, it's not like teams will be beating down his door if we do cut him. I'm
He's
sure
got
he'll get a
stature
job.
in the DMV.
Yeah.
You know, we love us a backup quarterback here. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having to argue over who should be the backup between Heineke and Bridgewater? How far will we have fallen as a fan base if we're arguing about who should be backing up Malik Willis? Not that he's my guy on drafting, but who should be backing up whatever rookie we start? Should it be Heineke? It's like, oh, we should have had Heineke as the backup this week. You know, horrible.
We definitely don't want to be there.
By week 6.
Absolutely.
All right, Ellie, who's your guy?
All right. My guy. I'm gonna go with Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston. He just makes the most sense. I mean, he's going back to New Orleans, and I know that, but for the purpose of this argument, to me, he makes the most sense. You know, he's the best quarterback that's a free agent that's out there. He's done the most. He's had the most success throwing the football, and he's young, and he seemed to be getting better last year. So my guy is Jameis Winston. Go ahead and pummel me. It's okay. I can take it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're bringing in a Jameis Winston, if you're bringing in a free agent quarterback, I think we all three agree it's most likely as a bridge for whatever quarterback we draft. No? So if you're bringing in a bridge quarterback, why is it somebody who shredded his knee on Halloween and may not even be 100% for week 1? If he's going to be a bridge and he might not even be able to start week 1 with an ACL injury, I just don't see it. And he also threw 30 interceptions in a season when he was not playing structured football. And again, when you saw him with the Saints last year, he was efficient, but he was, by limiting his interceptions, you also took away what he did well as a passer, which he's a gunslinger by nature. By reining in the interceptions, he was almost too cautious of a player. He was very robotic at quarterback last year. I don't think he's going to have that same structure here. And I think he'll be back to the Jameis of Tampa, and he'll be Rexing it up in here. So I'm going to say no to Jameis.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Jameis is the much more accomplished passer out of all of these guys here that we're talking about, these mid-tier vets. He can push the ball down the field, make throws, put up some points. But if you just go back to last season with the Saints, Sean Payton was so structured in how he called these plays for Jameis in terms of trying to cut out some of his decision making and just say, hey, here's what I need you to do. Do not deviate, so he could get some of those numbers. He's not going to have that here. I mean, if we had somebody on the level of a Sean Payton in terms of offense coordinator, play caller, then I may say, yeah, absolutely. We could probably do this, but Scott Turner is going to give him all kinds of freedom, and that's not something I want to see with Jamin, because he will throw it all over and then he will throw it to the other team. And we're not good enough to overcome that. Unfortunately, our defense isn't good enough, and we don't utilize our run game enough, unfortunately, to overcome a lot of turnovers and be sloppy like that with the football. So I would say no. And then also, again, Ellie, you mentioned it. He is still pretty young, and I don't want this coaching staff thinking, hey, we're the team to fix him. We're the guys to fix him. So let's not draft a quarterback. Let's focus on Jameis for the next year or two. Like, we got to start building. We can't keep kicking the can down the road. We've got to have somebody to believe in, and I just don't think that it's Jameis Winston.
It's better than your guys. But look,
Okay.
let's all agree it's very likely not going to be a free agent quarterback. I mean, let's be real. There's nothing out there worth resetting your franchise to get, or it's not there. So most likely this is going to be, if we do something outside of the draft, it's going to be a trade of some form or fashion. So Eric, tell us who that guy is via trade.
Yeah, so I actually think it's more likely that we're going to sign a free agent quarterback than execute the trade because despite what Ron says, I don't think DC's a destination yet. But I'm swinging for the fences and going all in on Russell Wilson still. I know Pete Carroll came out this week and said we have no intention of trading Russell Wilson. And Russell said, I'm in Seattle right now, so I like it. Neither of those are very, if you kind of dissect those statements, neither of them are saying he's not available. Neither of them saying is I want to be here forever. Russell said, I'm in Seattle right now and I like it. And, saying you have no intention of trading somebody doesn't mean I'm not trading. If you look at what Pete Carroll said last year, he said, we're not trading Russell Wilson. So we're not trading him and we have no intention of trading him are two different things. So Washington needs to put a package together and go all in on Russell Wilson. We need to send picks and players and we need to go get that guy. And make it happen because that's the way to go. I don't think Aaron Rodgers, there's zero chance Aaron Rodgers is coming here. Deshaun Watson, I have a feeling they're going to be in on the discussion if everything gets cleared up with him. I don't think it's the best move for this franchise. Not that I don't love him as a quarterback, and I would, if everything was equal, I would take Watson over Wilson at this point in their careers. But everything is not equal, and we have a horrible reputation for the same type of thing Deshaun Watson is accused of. So I'm out on him. And I might be destroying your guys' trade, so I apologize before you even announce him. But, yeah, I'm going all in on Russell Wilson. He's my trade. He's my primary target. He's plan A this offseason for me.
Yeah, I like that because that's the same one I'm going to pick. But
Yeah.
he makes too much sense. He's still in his prime. He's a hard worker. He keeps himself in shape. He wants to play. He has the drive. He has the background. Can we pull off the trade? That's the hard part. But, no, I can't really find anything wrong with that. He is worthy of, putting together a big deal and sending it to Seattle. So absolutely.
All right. I'll be the protagonist here. I guess the antagonist here.
Antagonist. I'm the protagonist. Everybody likes me.
My apologies. Antagonist. Look, Russell Wilson is the ideal situation for us, but good things don't happen to us. So,
this is true.
I cannot fathom.
We're going to end up with Trubisky.
Yes, and we're going to trade for him somehow. But look, I would love it. He's going to need a new deal, or he'd want a new deal with a lot more money, in addition to the draft picks that we gave up. And doesn't it seem like the price is going up? If Deshaun Watson's folks are asking for 3 1s, 2 players, and some more stuff, what is Seattle going to want for Russell Wilson? And that, my friends, is very scary to me. Our four first-round picks is a lot. What's Ron got to lose? He might not be here if he doesn't get Russell Wilson. So he's like, sure, you want our next 4 drafts? Take them. It's a lot to ask. And I like Russell Wilson. I would love it if he were our quarterback. It just seems to be too good to be true. That's my only argument.
The only thing I'll say, negative for, one of these big name guys, Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, is these weren't ever really realistic trades, right? Like the only way these trades for Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers come about because they're both still under contract, right? These aren't guys, these aren't free agents. They're still under contract. Is if these two publicly or they go to their front office and say, trade me now. I'm not going to play another snap for you ever again. Neither of these guys have said that, because they want to be the good guy in the media. And the team has no reason to trade any of them because they're excellent quarterbacks. And there's not any, other quarterbacks who are legitimately better than them right now at this point. If there are, they're on another team and their names like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or somebody like that. So it makes this, kind of a fool's errand to even talk about, because these trades are so difficult. It's going to take something crazy, something that everybody in the league is going to be like, what, they did what, and they gave up who to get Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, I don't think there's anything they could offer to do it, but you still got to try, I guess, if you want that type of quarterback.
Yeah, I like I said, too good to be true. So I'm gonna dial it back from a unicorn trade to something that's a reindeer, maybe. It might be a little more realistic. And you know what? Eric was on board this wagon all off season last year.
Oh, I know who you're going with. I'm down with it too. I'm good.
See, I knew you'd like this.
I know you're
He
going with it.
said last year this quarterback was going to be our starter this coming season. And when we played this team this year, I was just fascinated with how this individual was able to play the quarterback position so effectively. He just looked like he was miles beyond what we had in Washington. And that individual's name is one Matthew Ryan with the Atlanta Falcons. Okay. Is he towards the end of his career? Yes. Can he play 2 or 3 more years of high-level football? Absolutely. And he's not going to cost you what Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson will cost you, right? He'll cost you some, but Atlanta wants to get younger, right? They need picks. They need to improve all over the field. I don't mind bringing Matt Ryan in. I don't mind giving a little bit more money to be our quarterback. This is like such Brad Johnson 2.0. You know what I'm saying? But a little bit better, because
He's better
Matt
than
Ryan,
Brad Johnson.
yes, it's way better than Brad Johnson. This could work. You make Terry McLaurin happy, right? Because he now has a quarterback that's going to get him the ball. I mean, Matt Ryan pounded the ball to Julio Jones for 18 years or however long they were in the league together. He's a legit starter. He can run an NFL offense. He's what Scott Turner wants. This is going to happen. Argue with me. Go ahead.
Is the Atlanta Falcons roster worse, the same, or better than our roster?
Offensively, it's worse.
Well, skill position, I think they're probably a little better off. I think offensive line wise, they're not as good.
What skill positions are better?
Overall, as a team, like, is he stepping into a similar situation in Atlanta, a better one? Because if it's similar, what's he going to do here? Like, he's not going to come here and all of a sudden, we're 14-3 or something like that. Like, he's going to do what he did in Atlanta, which is, he's going to play well, but ultimately, we're still going to be a pretty awful team.
Matt Ryan is the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. I'm going to say it straight up. He gets way too much hate for somebody who's as good as he is.
Yes.
Or definitely doesn't get the love, but people love to poo-poo on him. I don't know why. He is excellent. He is so efficient. He's not a big arm guy. He's not mobile, but he is really, really good at what he does. And what he does is carve up defenses.
Yep.
He is a master at it. I have no problem. The only downside to that, and I think you can work around this, but new deal, because that dude's got like a $48 million cap hit this year. And I don't know how much of that Atlanta would have to eat. Probably half of it. They would have to eat it. But yeah, I mean, I'm completely okay with a Matt Ryan deal. I just, if he's available and you can't get Russell Wilson, I don't see why you don't go after Matt Ryan. I'm cool with that.
What does Eric always say? And I mean you, Eric. Not my money. What do we care for?
Money. Nah, it's just that's a big cap hit. You do want to have be able to put people around him, but it is also a 1-year cap hit. But yeah, you're right. It's not my money. I don't care.
I mean,
and like I said, the cap is a myth.
Make 5 wins better. Does he make us 5 wins better? 3 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins better? I mean,
4 wins. 4 wins over last year easily with Matt Ryan. Are you kidding me?
He is. Yeah, he makes this offense much, much better. I don't see how you. Yeah, I don't know.
We're at 11.
Brian.
We're in 11. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's bad, but our team overall isn't much different.
How many games did we lose because of bad quarterback play last year? I mean,
seriously,
average to bad
Denver
quarterback
game.
Play.
As many as the bad
Green Bay, Denver.
I don't.
Brian,
I
Green Bay, Denver,
uplifting us to 11 wins.
Brian,
man,
you're missing. So look, bad quarterback play makes your defense worse. It makes your special teams worse. It makes everything you do on the football field worse. You're not controlling the clock. You're not controlling the ball. You're not resting your defense. You're not giving your pass rushers time to recoup. You're putting your defense in bad situations in terms of field position. You're turning the ball over. The Dallas game alone, both Dallas games, like,
game, the first Dallas game especially.
yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man, that's it. You don't. I think you're really selling short how much Matt Ryan could improve.
How quickly he gets
do.
rid of the ball, he would have shredded Dallas with our offense last year,
Yep.
just based on how quickly he gets rid of the ball. Because the biggest problem we had in that game, and the pressure was crazy in that first game, and I'll give him especially in the first half, like Micah Parsons was everywhere, but Matt Ryan can beat that with a quick release. He gets rid of the ball quickly. He knows exactly where to go with it.
Yep.
And you saw that, and it's not like learning a new offense is a thing, because he was in year one of that Arthur Smith offense, and he was shredding us. Yeah, I love Matt Ryan. If Russell's my plan A, Matt can be my plan B.
He can play, but I mean,
I love Matt Ryan.
He had
Love
that same quick release last year, and
I want to make babies with him.
They won 8
Matt,
games,
call me.
7 games, 9 games. I don't think you can use the argument of we won 7 games here. Like next year's a whole entirely new season. Like
yeah, you start 0-0. So
yeah.
How much better position will you be in with a better quarterback than what you had
From
last
the
year?
jump.
I mean,
yes.
Wins above replacement. I absolutely think it. I may have a giant man crush on Matt Ryan, by the way.
Listen to this. He makes Antonio Gibson better because there's less guys in the box. Teams were daring Heineke to throw last year. Do you remember this?
Yes.
The secondary was just sitting back, chilling, like, oh, he's going to throw us the ball. We're just going to – I mean, shoot, the New Orleans game, that's a dub with Matt Ryan. The Denver game is a dub with Matt Ryan.
Green Bay.
The Green Bay dub with Matt Ryan. Dallas, at least one of those is a dub with Matt Ryan.
That first Philly game, if he didn't have COVID.
What? The second Philly game.
The second Philly game. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we have a lot more wins with Matt Ryan last year.
Come on, man.
And we'll have wins with him next year.
Wow. I mean, he can't get those wins in Atlanta, but he's going to get them here. All right. I got it. I got
Just a tattoo.
I do love me some Matt Ryan.
Yeah,
I think he's way underrated. I don't think, when you talk about top quarterbacks in the league, I don't think he gets enough love. He's excellent.
I'm so with it. If they make that move, I will buy a jersey. And I don't even wear jerseys like that. I will buy a Matt Ryan jersey.
Diami's giving up that number 2 though.
Instantly.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I will arm wrestle him for it. All right. Anyway, so the last phase of improving the quarterback position is the draft. And there's guys in this draft. And Eric, I'm sure you have your favorite. If we go the draft route, who's it going to be?
Yeah, I'm going to go, as much as I like Malik Willis, I'm going to go Kenny Pickett because I think he's more plug and play. I think he's more NFL ready than Malik Willis is. I think Malik Willis has a much higher ceiling, but I don't think with the team built as it is, I don't think you can wait around for him to develop. So, 5 years down the road, you can look back and say you probably should have took him. But I think for the short term and for, Ron's career's sake, especially if you're picking up a free agent guy, you're going to draft somebody to get in the game. I think Kenny Pickett is probably the most pro ready of the current draft quarterbacks. Sam Howell also I could see, but I don't know that he's a worth number 11. So if you trade back, maybe him. But at 11, if he's there, Kenny Pickett is my draft pick.
I don't want Kenny Pickett.
With his little baby hands, I know.
Hey, same size as Michael Vick's, apparently. Both 8.5 inch hands.
There you go, 8.5. That's not so bad.
I agree on Kenny Pickett. I think that would be my pick as well if he's there. If I had the choice between the two, then I would go Pickett. If Malik's there, then I pick Malik. My only problem is, again, it goes to the coaching staff. I think Ron would probably favor Malik, but Scott Turner, I don't think would know how to utilize Malik. I mean, we had Taylor Heineke, who is a mobile quarterback. Taylor Heineke can run. He's actually pretty fast. And we saw no movement with this offense. There was no bootlegs. There were no designed runs for the quarterback. It was stale. It was stagnant. It was just straight drop back. That's something that Kenny Pickett does, and he does well, and he can thrive in that. And we need somebody right from the start. Eric said it, pro ready. He played in a pro style offense. He's familiar with all of these concepts that he's going to be running here. And again, his style fits Scott Turner. And to me, it is about fit who you have, because Scott Turner's not going anywhere. As much as we may like it, or as much as I may want it, he's not going anywhere. And I think the fit would be best with Kenny Pickett. I could see Malik struggling here just because Scott Turner wouldn't do some of the things that Malik does really well. Again, I mean, when have we seen the pocket moved here in these past 2 seasons? Once, twice, if that. So Kenny Pickett, I think, would be the guy that we need to start the Commanders era off the right way.
Yeah. Sign me up for Teddy Bridgewater. Okay.
Ooh.
Listen. All right. So the small hands, we talked about 8.5 inches.
Smells like cabbage.
This guy is
the Powers fans get that reference.
No Michael Vick. Okay. Michael Vick was elusive in the pocket. Kenny Pickett had 26 fumbles in college. 26, guys. That's bad. That's really bad.
And to his credit, though, most of those were early in his career. This last year, he brought those down. Each year, he brought those down. So he did get better at it.
26 fumbles. I don't care what he did with it. They're there. He look, he's okay. His ceiling, to me, he's one of those lower ceiling guys too.
Matt Ryan.
Stop playing. Stop playing.
It's Matt Ryan, right? It's Matt Ryan.
No,
Matt Ryan's got big hands.
No. the comp for Kenny Pickett, I have to find this again, but it was something pretty low. From what I recall, I don't subscribe to the notion.
I think a lot of people are saying Derek Carr.
I'll take that.
Okay, maybe that's his ceiling. That's where
Carr's like borderline top 10. Yeah,
it's not where he will likely be. Yeah. Most quarterbacks don't get to their ceiling. Remember that. So you're looking at Derek Carr, but you're going to settle for Rex Grossman or something crappy like that.
Ooh.
I'm so over going for guys who are mid-tier, and if they reach their full potential, they might be the bottom floor of the top tier. If you're not going all in to be elite, why bother at this point? Do you know what I'm saying? Wait till next draft if that's where you're going to be. I don't think Kenny Pickett's that dude, man. I really don't. I'd go Malik Willis simply for the fact that, number one, he's got a cannon. Number two, he's elusive. Number three, he can throw on the run. You mentioned Heineke. When Heineke started running, that play was over in terms of throwing the ball, especially when he went left. You knew what time it was. All I'm saying is, let's get the guy with the highest ceiling for once in our life, right? Let's look at this. In 2012, there were a couple quarterbacks that came out. You had your Andrew Luck's, which you knew that guy was going to be a Hall of Famer, right? If he worked out. We took the guy who had the higher ceiling in Robert Griffin III. Robert Griffin III won Rookie of the Year that year, correct? So, at the time in 2012, when he was fully healthy and everything was churning and burning, nobody was upset that we didn't have Andrew Luck in DC. You know what I mean? We had the guy that was going to create the most exciting brand of football. We had the guy that was the better player of the two. Andrew Luck was good. RG3 was magical. I want to try for magic. I don't want a guy that can develop into good. Give me magic. That's Malik Willis. And if he doesn't work out, try again in a couple years. I don't care anymore. I'm so tired of middle tier being our standard or our ceiling that we want here because it's safe. Throw it out the window. I like Malik Willis. He's a good dude. He's a good leader. He has a huge arm. He's mobile. And yes, you can play him day one. You know why? Because mobile quarterbacks play a lot sooner than non-mobile. Look at me. I'm tripping over Malik Willis. Mobile quarterbacks play sooner in the NFL than non-mobile quarterbacks in today's NFL because you build offenses around them. Can Scott Turner do it? He better. If Ron signs off on Malik Willis, I promise you Scott Turner's going to build an offense around him, or Scott Turner ain't going to be here because this is Ron Rivera putting his stamp on the future of this franchise. He will make it happen. Give me Malik Willis all day over any other guy at the quarterback position in this draft.
Well, you said it yourself earlier. Good things don't happen to us. So you're drafting for potential that's never going to get realized with this team. Yeah. And I love Malik Willis as a quarterback. And I think in the right situation, he's going to be an excellent player, but I don't think DC is the right situation for him because I agree with Brian. I don't think Scott Turner's got the offensive chops to put something around him that's going to accentuate his strengths and, minimize his weaknesses from day one. And I don't see it working for Malik Willis here. I think it's a draft bust if he comes here. I think he has tons of potential. I agree with you there. But he needs to go someplace where it's going to work out for him. And I don't think it'll work out for him in DC.
Just think about what Harbaugh did in Baltimore when they drafted Lamar. Harbaugh went and changed his whole offense. He got the offensive coordinator and said, "We're scrapping everything we've done how many ever years prior. Like, we're not doing that ever again. We're doing what this guy can do, and then we're going to expand on that." I just can't see Scott Turner being like, "Yeah, I'll change from the 8 plays that I have and the play, that inside handoff run out of shotgun, and changing that." Like, if he had that type of thinking or mindset, then maybe, yeah, let's go Malik. But I just think it being a disaster because Scott Turner wants his offense to shine, not the players. Like, he wants his play to shine, not Terry. Like, we see it. We see it when we watch these games. So
if Ron Rivera puts his signature on drafting Malik Willis, you better believe Scott Turner is going to change that offense to make Malik Willis successful. He will not have a choice. I promise you, Scott Turner is not just going to let Malik Willis come in and fail. If Malik Willis was somebody else's draft pick and Ron Rivera just got here, a la Haskins, I could see that. Not with the guy that Rivera says we got to pick. You know
I don't know, man. No, because, you saw it last year. Ron put his foot down in the bye week and said, "You're running the ball, and we're going to have success running the ball, stopping the run, and minimizing mistakes." And that lasted 4 weeks, and then Scott Turner was back to throwing it all over the place. Yeah. So, I agree the intention will be there, but I think Scott's going to Scott, and at some point he's just going to go back and start chucking the ball all over the place and not really caring that Malik Willis is, a learning rookie. Willis has all of the potential in the world. He could be the best quarterback coming out of here. But he does struggle with a lot of things right now, and he's not ready to just drop back and throw the ball 30 times. And I think there's going to be times where Scott just does that because he's just being Scott, and he's going to start, dropping back, throwing deep outs to his left, with Willis, hasn't done great in his career. And he, it's a skill he's got to learn. I don't think he's going to have the patience to do it. I don't think Malik Willis will work out in DC. I love him as a quarterback. And if he was, if it was a different situation, yes, I prefer him to Kenny Pickett. But I think for this specific situation, I don't think he's going to work here. I just don't think he's ready to play at the level that this team needs him and with how he's going to be used.
Ellie, I got a scenario for you that gets you Malik Willis. Ron drafts Malik Willis. It goes miserably this year. It's awful. Ron's fired. Byron Leftwich, Malik Willis come in and they tear it up. Somebody forward thinking, I think could do it, but it's tough with Scott. But I could see that. I could see Malik and Byron Leftwich being.
I don't know. Was Byron really forward thinking? He had Tom Brady. He was he's never succeeded with a mobile quarterback from what I can tell. He had Jameis and he had Brady. Who did he have before that? Was he there with Fitzpatrick was there? I don't remember when he came in, but and then, in Arizona, what do you have? Carson Palmer. So seems to have a type for his system. So I don't know that Byron, I see where you're going with it. I don't think Byron's that guy. Byron seems to have a guy that he likes to, or I don't think he's had the opportunity to coach somebody like Malik. So I don't know if that's there or not, but
that's fair.
What's his name? Somebody from Baltimore comes in, then you're in business. Whoever the Baltimore offensive coordinator is now, I don't know who that is, but he comes to DC as the new head coach. Then sure.
Yeah. Well,
but we have to have a 0-17 year next year with Malik Willis running the show.
No. Okay.
Nah, he'll be sitting behind Matt Ryan. It's all good.
I love it, man. All right. So we gave you guys our thoughts on who the next quarterback will be in each of those scenarios. Tell us what you guys think in the comments. Let us know your thoughts because we like to read those. We have a good time reading them. We discuss them amongst ourselves in here as well. And I tell you what, I got just a couple of trivia questions for you guys related to the draft.
Oh, I got one before you start trivia.
Yeah, what do you got?
What we had Pete Hainer retire, and tight ends coach. We got Juan Castillo. What do you guys think about that move? And then no other moves, no other hires. We promoted some quality control coaches. That's it. No additions to a struggling football team.
I'm surprised Sam Mills is still around. I thought he'd be the one to get his walking papers, because I think from what I heard, the defensive line wasn't a big fan of his. But, I guess Ron and Jack like him. Yeah. Juan Castillo, I have no opinion on. I know that's the guy that Andy Reid made the defensive coordinator like out of nowhere one year. He was like the offensive line coach or something. And then like Andy Reid was like, he's my new defensive coordinator. And that ended up with Reid getting fired.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he goes.
Hunter
did a great job with the tight ends.
We did not promote a bunch of guys. We promoted the Del Rio and the Rivera family. That's who we promoted. Okay?
Yeah, but it's not like, I saw that and everybody was crying about nepotism. But like Rivera was just like his nephew or something like that. He was a quality control coach for like 5 years. That man was mopping floors for 5 years. Now he gets to wash lettuce. Like, that's not soon he'll be on fries. Another year or two, he makes assistant manager. That's when the big bucks start rolling in. Y'all don't get that reference, I guess. Somebody on Twitter will.
There you go. All right, trivia, and then we're
gonna to watch more movies. That's what That's the whole point of this. I need you guys.
We
to
will certainly do that.
It's coming to America, man.
Movie podcast coming out soon.
I know. I have some thoughts on Batman.
All right. Let's see. You know what? Let's skip trivia. Give the folks your opinion on Batman, Eric, the new Batman movie, without spoiling it.
Yeah, go see it. It's awesome. Fantastic. So different than the other Batman movies. Robert Pattinson, say what you will about him. I never saw Twilight. I don't know, but he's really good in this movie. So go see the new Batman. You can hate on me in the comments because I don't read them. So feel free. Absolutely great movie, though. Fantastic movie. Can't recommend it highly enough.
Oh, nice.
I just saw it like an hour ago, so I'm still on the high. So my opinion may soften a little bit later on, but right now it was great. Loved it.
They set it up for a sequel?
Oh, absolutely. They teased a new villain right at the end. Yeah.
And the villain in this one's the Penguin, right?
Well, the Penguin is in it. Not to spoil too much. The main villain is the Riddler. The Riddler. And he's not the cheesy Frank Gorshin Riddler from the Batman. Or the Jim Carrey like nonsense. He's a really good Batman villain for this type of movie. It is outstanding. I cannot recommend it highly enough. And I'm the one that drops all the movie lines in this podcast, so I know what I'm talking about, right?
Sold. Let's go.
He says it's better than The Dark Knight.
I did. So again, I just saw it like 2 hours ago. So I'm on the high right now. So I may revise my opinion. I reserve the right to go back and rethink it later on. But like, I just saw the movie and I really enjoyed the movie. It's a very different tone. The Bruce Wayne is completely different, very believable. I thought Robert Pattinson did a good job. There's like a weird Colin Farrell appearance in there that like you don't even notice until way into the movie. It's awesome. Go see the movie. Tell me about it. I will sign on to Twitter this week just to read your comments about what I think of this movie. You can make fun of me all you want, and I will even respond to people.
Does it tie into the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie?
No, not at all.
I really like that one. I really like.
Not even a little bit. I enjoyed that too. That's apparently a red flag movie, though. Did you know that? Like, if you're a big fan of that movie, people think you're a psychopath. It's like one of those movies, like Taxi Driver and like what's that one? Fight Club, where people are like, "Oh, you must be one of those." Yes, that's a red flag movie. But so you can't say you like that out loud. But no, I didn't. I did enjoy it.
So what you're saying is we should be asking the quarterbacks at the combine if they've seen that movie, and then we know we can cross them off the list.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenny Pickett looks like he's seen Fight Club a few times.
All right, fellas.
It's over for him.
Listen, like, subscribe, comment, come kick it with us. We appreciate everybody. We all want the best for this franchise at the quarterback position. Man, we'll see what happens. It's getting close, guys. We are out of here.